Why, hello, my loves, and welcome back to Spook Manor. Today I have quite the tale for you. A story of love, a story of revenge, a story of vanity, and the dangers of self-imposed insecurities. A story that has been told time and time again. A story that screams to this day. Let us go back, shall we, 200 years or more, to a South American jungle where a small village awaits us. It is here that we meet a stunning couple, Martina and Mateo. They were the talk of their village and of many of the other small villages in the surrounding area. The mountains were high and the jungles were lush, but this did not stop the whispers from spreading far and wide. For you see, Martina and Mateo were dancers, and their passion for music awed onlookers, which traveled from miles around to be induced by their hypnotic spell. The two towered in height, unnaturally tall compared to the rest of the villagers, and they moved together harmoniously, as though they were stars making love to the night sky. It was as though they were unaware of the crowds when they danced, and it appeared that their sole existence was simply to be in each other's arms. Martina was the desire of every man, and they begged and pleaded for her affections. She was very vain, and she loved to tease them, to the point of cruelty even, before turning them away with half-hearted claims of devotion to Mateo. Sure, she loved him, but he was more of a novelty, an award which highlighted her extravagant beauty. He was her possession and a tool for her power. This brought great insecurity to Martina, for she believed that if she ever lost Mateo to another woman, she would also lose her desirability to the men in the village and her power over them. Mateo himself was quite striking, and oh, so very handsome. It was obvious to Martina that women desired him with the same passion that men desired her. Although Mateo never took these women in front of her, she believed that, against the denial of her closest friends and loved ones, it was only a matter of time before he would be unfaithful. And so, when Mateo began to make private trips to a neighboring village, Martina became concerned. For over 2 months now, each week he would make these trips and would refuse to allow her to go along. She began to grow increasingly concerned, and concern turned to anger, and anger turned to rage, until one day Martina decided that enough was enough. She would not be made the fool. So she followed him on his last and fateful journey up through the mountain range. He was entirely unaware of her presence and the fact that she carried a long knife by her side. She could not bear that anyone could be of greater desire to him than she was. About halfway to the village, Martina's greatest fears came true. There she saw a young woman appear on the roadside, holding a large box and smiling with great pride. Mateo called to her excitedly and ran to her. Shocked, Martina stood in place, with rage and humiliation pulsing through her veins. And when Mateo hugged the young woman, who was far less attractive than Martina was, it was too much for her to bear. She pulled her knife and ran to them screaming with all the fury of a bat flying straight out of hell. It was then that she stabbed Mateo repeatedly, so many times that no one could count them all. The screams of the 3 individuals echoed over the mountains and valleys below. Mateo, lying in a pool of his own blood, cried to Martina with his last breath, "Please stop, you don't understand." And as he went quiet, Martina turned her eyes to the terrified woman standing before her, and she raised her blade for the next attack. And as she did, the young lady fell to the ground and ripped open the box she had held only moments ago. and revealed the most gorgeous dress Martina had ever seen. "You foolish woman!" screamed the girl at Martina. "My mother is a dressmaker. Matteo had a special gown made just for you. He had it made for your birthday." It was then that Martina realized what she had done. As she stared at the sparkling beads and exquisite materials, it had become apparent that her vanity and insecurity had destroyed all that she held dear. In fear for her own life, the young woman fled, Martina's screams of agony following her all the way back to the village. And they continued on into the night, echoing in the surrounding jungles until dawn. Some say that in Martina's devastation, she stabbed herself in the heart with the very same blade she used to take Matteo's life. Some say that she threw herself from the cliff's edge, while even others say that she drowned herself in a nearby pond. But regardless of how she took her life, many claim that on the anniversary of Martina and Matteo's death, from sundown to daybreak, Martina's screams can be heard to this very day. This is a powerful lesson to the living, to value love above all, to stay cautious of the dangerous and slippery slope of vanity and all its encompassing fears. So tell me, my loves, have you walked the dark and dangerous path of jealousy? If so, what was the result? Please comment down below. And remember to like and subscribe for more fictional stories that are often of actual urban legends and sometimes have historical reference. Have a good night.